Well, hi there everybody, and welcome to Hell. I'm Robin and Andrew Jack without a C, and this is Silent Hill 3, maybe the finale? So, I did some research, and what I have discovered is that our third ending playthrough, which will come up next, is going to be interesting. So, let's go ahead and get right into it because time is of the essence. We have our tarot puzzle, but the good news is we're on easy difficulty. And all of our tools are right there. So the Fool in the top left, Moon in the right, Hanged Man in the bottom left, High Priestess in the bottom right, and Eye of the Night in the middle. So we are able to just jump right on into here. Now, the reason why we have to get the ball rolling as quickly as possible is because we're going to be spending a little time early on to do something that is not going to be difficult, but time consuming. And I'll explain as we get there. So, how is everyone? I hope everybody's doing okay, better than they were, still holding on. Whatever the case may be, I hope you're alright. So let's make our way down this terrible, terrible, bloody, awful, tetanus-inducing hallway. Clark is helping me with the drink and has very graciously made me a nice little latte. Thank you very much. Well, Lindsay, I think you're just unfortunately wired for this. So we're going to first, hi Sabrina, crack open this pendant and eat the red jelly bean inside so that we can throw up God. And then Claudia eats said God in all its Eraserhead baby glory and becomes God. Because Silent Hill and video games. Did finish the story path in Senran Kagura, which gave me the best endgame unlock I've seen in years, and her name is Daidoji. Daidoji is the JoJo reference, right? The Jotaro Kujo XP? That is pretty great. Alright, so we're not actually going to be using the machine gun. We're going to look for the beam saber. And we are going to take a lot of damage. This might not work out our first time. Giant beefy Banjo girl keeps repeating her senior year because she wants to find strong people to fight. Yeah. She's just Jotaro Kujo as a hot girl. Come on, hit me. There we go. Lady I helped out the other week came by with the spring rolls as a thank you gift. Hell yes. And I got my flu shot today. Hell yes. I still need to get queued up for all my shots. Thing weird out here having a day of head implode. That's just December. Okay, so that's 75 points right there. We literally are just going to wait for this girl to, or guy, folk, person, this abomination to knock our health down as much as humanly possible. We somehow managed to dodge the attack, which I've never been able to dodge on purpose before. I hate that. Just hit me. Just hit me. Stop trying to hit me and hit me. And that's Sabrina! Oh, what a good cat. So fluff. So very fluff. Everybody, click the link for cat. Not the cat that's in the chat, the cat that is being shown in the chat. Well, Uji to you too, Sabrina. Communicating with backbeat. So we are going to take as much damage as we have healing items, save for one amp al, which yes, I'm still running with that joke because every time I try to say ampul, I can't get my words around it. I can't get my mouth around it. It's just like It's one of those words that doesn't feel good. It's not even like a bad word, it's just very difficult for me to say. And I usually don't have that problem. Keep hitting us. Come on, you can do it. We get this ending. And we're gonna, at some point during the stream. Oh! Hi, Crow! The big weird guy! Yep. That's a friend, Claudia. I say all French impersonally. See, that's also really good. I just like saying impal because it's the funniest way I can think of to combine those letters into a sound. So, for those of you who might not remember, this is Claudia, who's been trying to get Alessa to summon God. And Heather, as Alessa, because she's an offshoot of Lessa thanks to the first game, has been running around with the fetus of God slowly developing inside her, which is very rude, because I don't think she really consented to that. By the end, she finally confronts Claudia and decides, okay, you know what, this pendant that my dad gave me, I'm just going to go ahead and consume it, because of course I am. And she vomits up the god. Just lets it splatter on the ground. And Claudia's like, well, that sucks. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to cram it down my throat. And things got worse from there, as you might expect. And so, she escaped and got down deeper into the church, where she decided to hang out and be nasty. And such a weak friend. Thank God episodes of Robin's Rad gaming content are available for 60 days on video on demand. Absolutely free. Hell yes. Just gonna stand there and stare at God's ugly mug like, damn, bitch, you live like this? She's adding to the view count. Yes. Get more eyeballs on there. You can do it, Sabrina. You can elevate this chat and this stream to the superstar. Means that when I walk 22,000 steps and all I want to do is lay on my face, I've got sweet, sweet horror gameplay waiting for me. And we're going to continue to have more. Buy Cat a sub. Exactly. You gotta get the sub. You gotta capitalism. It's how any of us survive. Now Heather's gonna go and perform a post-birth abortion on God after it beats her up a bit. Dang it. Okay, we took a few too many hits. I'm trying to play limbo with this fight, which is why I wanted to get the ball rolling as quickly as possible. Because I know stuff like this is going to happen. It's unfortunate because I really want to get through this fight, but thankfully, Silent Hill has weirdly been pretty nice in the early years with their checkpoints. You can just load up a continue, and boom, there you are. You're at the fight. Claudia, you kinda, that's just a weird meaty tube between your top and bottom halves there. I think it's fine. You know, like in theory, all core muscle has varying degrees of weirdness too, but, right, like, who can really say they know how any of those muscles work? I've been drawing them for years. I even became known as the person who draws buff girls, and I still don't think they make a lot of sense. And frankly, just remove them all. Just leave nothing but bone and a little bit of flesh up top, so that you know what you're looking at. Somebody who definitely does not want to fuck you. Well, actually, I don't know what their preferences are. Their preferences? If this is a god, then surely they are beyond gender. Which case... Oh. I never noticed that she, like, stuck her head under the curtain up there. That's really neat. I didn't know that. Takes it off. Just stands up and has a little hat. I love that for her. Bop. Bop. Sorry, fallible flesh. The purity of the machine is my new best friend. It's just a hat. It's just a hat. Look, it's just a hat. See? Just a hat. This is my new wallpaper. Not for my desktop, just for my bedroom. I'm just gonna have a repeated tile of that image. This full 360 so I can always see it. What are my chances of a successful date if somebody walks in and they just see, you know, these leaves of flesh and skin painting the entire perimeter of my room? And in one corner, one wall is just dedicated to Claudia as a god, standing there with her head under a curtain, under a meat curtain. Will that improve my chances? You know what? Yeah. With the right people, absolutely. I just thought about it. It's great. It's a good decision. It drops down to devour the shadow of her former body. Oh, that ain't just the shadow. That is literally Claudia's remains. What remains after being consumed. That's her whole fucking cloak. Just something all that cured dangling god flesh that keeps making moist noises. Like a beaded curtain but made of a humanoid charcuterie. Yeah, she's living it up in her god life. I'm playing it a little bit safer. Yeah, Claudia just got out of those clothes and decided, this is who I am now. You have to accept me. And we do. We don't appreciate her slapping us. In fact, her behavior is generally very toxic, I think. It's like if she wants to end the world and drag it all down to hell, I'm okay with that. But I draw the line at physical violence here. Towards me specifically. I'm just a teenage girl with pronouns and blue hair, trying to get by in this crazy world. Claudia, problematic. Call out post for Claudia. There we go. Come on. We're doing good. We're slowly running out of items. We're getting there. Oh boy. You know, you and I could have dated. It would be weird now because, like, we're at least 7 years apart. But, like, you kind of got, like, an eyebrowless, like, Julianne Moore, Tilda Swinton vibe when you're not, you know, a flesh-eating monster. And I'm a 17-year-old girl. So it probably wouldn't work out. But, like, I could learn to love and accept you if you just got rid of your more vile behavior. Again, the flesh eating. I'm okay with that. Because you're eating your own flesh. That's about as vegan as it gets. Dragging the world to hell? Like, that's not really a big deal. Like, billionaires have been doing that for years. And you are inadvertently killing billionaires with this tactic. So, like, I can't say that you're entirely in the wrong here. It's just your means. Automon has no issue with huffing cured dangling god flesh or human charcuterie, but it squinted at weirdo, which frankly means I think we're teaching it right. Yeah, because, like, we could talk about cannibalism. Surely. We could have a frank and wonderful discussion about consuming the flesh of another human being and taking their soul. What, insulting someone? That's over the line. It's always tough when you manage to get out of a doomsday cult via supernatural reincarnation, but your friend stays behind and doubles down. Yeah, see, like, nobody wants to do this. Heather doesn't want to be here beating this girl up. This could be us, but you planned. Hold on. I'll get one, don't worry. Automod dislikes whenever I call someone a coward. Bonk. Okay, are we in the red yet? Yeah, we're just about there. Bonk. We're just getting the occasional hit to make the last dash of her health just a little bit easier. Okay, we can take one more hit just fine. Bomb. Double hit. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess I should explain for those of you who might not have caught up with, like, why we're sitting here taking hits. I've explained it in a previous episode, but I figure I might as well now. The second ending requires points. And we need about 4,000 points to activate this ending. What actually gets you that ending? A, taking damage. For every point of damage you take, you get a point towards this goal. Killing enemies gets you 10 points per enemy killed, which is pretty great. And we've been killing as much as we can over the course of the game. And there's also a third point and a couple of minor points that also help. There's a point in which we can go back for Douglas just to hang out with him, talk to him, and if we don't do that, we retain our points instead of losing some. Yeah. Hi, Mom. Good to see you. And we forgave the person in the confessional, which, for some reason, gives us a lot of points towards this ending. Okay, what are we using now? We are using impulse. Okay. Oh, the one time I say it right and I wasn't even thinking about it. That's how I say impulse correctly. Or at least, that's how I say it without struggling. Great. Silent Hill 3 taught me something that I didn't want to learn. Reach heaven through violence. Oh yeah, I didn't actually say hi to everybody, did I? So, hi Aelith, Lindsay, Kat, Crow, Judge, Meb, Nick or Bob. Is there anyone else? Did I miss? I had to do that entirely on memory, so if I missed anyone. Speak now. Oh yeah, Sabrina. And hello, MILF City 69. Hi, Ellie. Sorry, any chat, like, you give me a gift by being here. That's why it's called your presence. Alright, come on. Hit us a little more. Once we get down, I aim to please. Just like hot local MILFs in your area. Help us want to see an Uji because of Sabrina. MILF City is what they used to call Silent Hill back in the day. Listen! I'm just saying, Dahlia wasn't entirely past her prime. And she did want to plant a smooch in some of those endings. Yes, she has some problematic behavior, but I think we can forgive that in favor of MILFs. Okay, we have 2 ampoules left. So I'm gonna start getting some wax in. Alright. I already know from practice. I prefer Milfberg myself. I've already practiced this, so I already know like what kind of stuff I have to do to make this happen. I want to get my damage down even more. Come on. Every little bit helps. Take me down to the Mill City, where the girls are responsible but 40 adults, and oh so pretty. Alright, and now we're just whacking the crap out of it. And there we go. Now, we will know if we got the ending based on how the next cutscene starts. So we're going to let this play out. I love that the head actually moves. I have the power of God and anime on my side.
Is that the end? I guess it's time to roll the credits. Dad!
Oh yeah. That god is dead. We killed it. Do not worry. That particular god that's sitting there on the ground, face down, is absolutely dead. That particular god over there, that physical form, that cage of flesh, is dead. That thing right there is dead. What are you talking about? I'm just talking about the god over there in that corner that is dead. It helps to be specific. I don't see an issue. That's ending 2. Boop. And for those of you who remember the first ending, that knife doesn't normally have blood on it at this point. Also, Douglas isn't usually dead. So yes, that particular god is dead. Would you like to know what the ending is called? As all these endings have like a specific 1 or 2 word phrase that explains what is going on. That is called the possessed ending. R.I.P. to the old god, long live the new god. I mean, why not? So yeah, Claudia alludes to a prophecy she mentions. Said that Heather would lead believers to paradise with blood-stained hands. You can only get descending if you kill enough enemies and do enough harm, including, like, harm to yourself, that you can't get away from the blood that you have had spilled. It's great. Of course, Douglas is the one that, for at least a time, Heather blamed for everything, for getting her roped into all this. But the confessional, why? Well, there is no firm answer, but there is a chance that the person in the confessional is a spiritual manifestation of Dahlia Gillespie. She refers to taking her own daughter's life, Alessa, and a girl whose life she has taken, which could allude to Cheryl. And it says is essentially begging to the very God she tried to bear into this world using Alessa. She's asking for forgiveness from a manifestation of Alessa, which is a really cool theory. I think it works pretty well.
The rest of the bar laughed at him.
And so one explanation for that being a negative is that she is taking on the role of the Holy One in the Order. Essentially going, you know what? I am your God. I've heard similar. It's not that Heather forgives her, it's that she's taking on and accepting the role of God in that moment. Yeah. Now, the voice actress in that confessional scene is not the same person who played Dahlia Gillespie. It's always possible that they couldn't get the original voice actress back. And so they decided to go with something that sounded kind of similar, but was not necessarily like that exact figure. I'm hoping I can find IMDb for the original Silent Hill, so I can double check a couple things. Yeah, not the same person. Also, Liz Momorsky has an adorable picture on IMDb. Alright, so how many enemies did we kill? A lot. So let's see. This is our third playthrough. So I have to assume that after we gotta be able to get this. Shokyo Mujo. Oh, we already have that one. Combined with the points increasing from taking and giving damage, I see it as Heather getting more and more immersed in the power of the cult in town. More vulnerable to its influence, similar to Silent Hill 4 spoilers. Which, again, we've confirmed we're doing. It's gonna happen. If you're not excited as hell, I don't know what to tell you. I've never beaten Silent Hill 4 even once. I got most of the way through it. Alright, now, this playthrough, it's going to be a little different. We're going to be hopping right in and we are going to motor, because it absolutely is possible to get this third ending in this playthrough. But we gotta run. Catgirl maid outfit? Well, okay. So let's start us off by getting into a good costume. Hi, Malik. So glad they gave us an opportunity to do this again. Alright, now, we don't have access to any of our weapons yet. SH3 Special Edition, where she also turns into a common rider. Heather's blank expression really ties that cutscene together. It really does, is the thing. It's really frickin' funny. You also have to remember that this game was done under budget, under a very tight budget, under very limited resources. So it becomes even funnier that they managed to land something so flawlessly and so jankily in such a beautiful way. Alright, so we're going under the shutter. After this cutscene, we get access to the handgun, so we're going to switch back over to the frickin' submachine gun. Since it's now December, the memory is keeping us warm. We don't actually need handgun bullets, and I don't think we can get anything else here that's actually going to be useful for us, so we'll go through here. I'm going to grab this. And then we're going to go through this door. I think. Yes. Okay. Now we need to make it up to the apartment. So we need to beat this, we need to beat the underpass, and then we will most likely get our ending. We're not going to be doing too many kills, we're just going to focus on killing a few things that are directly in our way. We're going to run over and we're going to get the tongs. And we are now at the point where I actually kind of know where I'm going. So that's really weird. I had kept being worried that, like, maybe this playthrough wouldn't work out well. Maybe I wouldn't actually learn how to get my time down, but I think we're going to be able to do this. Get the key with tongs, and we're going to turn around. And we got a beam saber. Now the problem with the beam saber is I don't exactly know how this works. So I'm going to load something up real quick to make sure I know what I'm doing. Because if I do all this and then I mess up, I'm going to be very irate with myself. So I want to make sure we get this right, because we have to combine the beam saber with the magical girl outfit. So let's see. Is there anything in our inventory that communicates this to us? Doesn't seem like it. And we're not seeing a lot of the things that we need. So let's try unequipping all of our weapons. Ah, do we not have it? Are we short on the enemies we need? Ah. It's possible that we do not have enough kills, which would really stink. Dang, I think we're short. I think I gotta bust ass and kill a lot of enemies and get through this game as quickly as possible, which is kind of a bummer. And if somebody wants to correct me on that just to make sure of this, I would love that, but I don't really know how it works. But man, I would hate to lose out on this just because we are short maybe a dozen enemies. And that's like literally the case. We got about 130 enemies killed in our last two playthroughs. That's 260. So we might be a little short of our total amount, especially considering how few we killed in our first playthrough. Let's see, let's get these books in. Hey, reselect, boop, and let's see, is this 0914? Hell yes. So we need to kill a nominal amount of enemies in order to get this going. Okay. So I wonder, and I don't actually know this for certain, and maybe it will work, I wonder if we can just go for 333 enemies killed, kill as many as we can, and maybe it'll unlock. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know if that's the case. But it also might be, like, the key way to unlock things is by beating the game. So, there's a very good chance that it's not going to work. Which is fine. We'll see two red halo of the sun crests floating over Heather's head, signifying its availability. And we haven't seen that. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and assume that we've got about 260 enemies killed. We're going to use any opportunity we can before we get to... you know what? You have to also kill 30 enemies with it? Yeah, that's the case. You have to have empty hands. Whatever the case, if it doesn't work out, then we have more time to hang out with each other, and I have more time to figure out which game I'm playing next. Because I have been thinking about some games to play, including, but not limited to, Milk Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk, and its sequel, Milk Outside a Bag of Milk, Outside a Bag of Milk, which came at recommendation from Lindsay. And I was also thinking about Adios, which is a game recommended by Judge. The cool thing about the Milk games is that they are, both of them combined, make for a whole stream. And I'm interested in both enough that I think it might be more fun to make time for both. I'm looking for some monster kill rooms. I second both of those, but especially Adios. Yeah, that one is like, I want to say it's short enough to suit our needs. I've heard nothing but good things about Adios, and like the concept alone is fantastic. Like, you are somebody trying to get out of a bad job that involves, well, I won't give too much away, but it seems much of the game is hanging out with somebody who is trying to convince you to not get out of this job, because if you get out of this job, he's going to have to do something about it. And considering that we are still in Spook Month, which is going to go as long as it needs to, forever and ever, I can assure you that things don't go super great for everybody involved. It depicts a very special kind of tension and sadness in that game.
Hell yeah, I love that.
I love suffering. Spook Month means the garbage times of the year is a long way out, so huzzah for Spook Month, right? I mean, that's what I actually really like about these streams, is that, like, when I played through all the Western numbered Fatal Frame games last year, it kinda gave me this really interesting sense of accomplishment, because we kind of committed to the thing that we all knew was going to take a bit, right? We all knew that going through every single one of these games was going to be potentially a pain in the butt. And what ended up happening instead was, it was one of the most fun things I'd ever done. And there are still like endings to get in those games that I never got. So there's always a reason to go back. But it also means that we can play some stuff that hits a little harder. I played The Park as well last year, which is a tough game narratively. It is a genuinely really great experience, and also just agonizing. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm going the right way. I always get lost around here. Think gotta go into one of these doors. Yes, this one. Thinking about those endings to Maidens of Blackwater still. Yeah, we actually got a lot of the endings for that game. And God, that game was so good. When I started playing it, it felt very much like they were trying their best to make something more appealing and more accessible at the cost of making something scary. And then I kept playing it, and it turns out they just cranked up the emotional factor. So it's like you have these designs that are like, okay, Koei Tecmo, you're very clearly still in your horny era, and you want to stay in there. And I respect it, but also, if you could chill out. And then the writing happens. So whenever people fall off of Fatal Frame because they look at the costumes or the designs and go, this isn't for me, I'm just going to let this pass. It's clearly just not for me. I'm just kind of sitting there like, you are actually missing out. You are actually missing out on something weirdly special So if somebody out there is like kind of on the fence about Fatal Frame, especially as they get a little bit long in the tooth, and especially as we get into some of the later titles where, you know, designs are a little horny and a little sexy at times, I'm still just kind of sitting there like, trust me. I know. I get it. Trust me. We ended up talking so much about stuff like grief and compassion, which was fantastic. It was so good. Like, we had some genuine heart-to-hearts that, like, I thought were, like, a great thing. Yes, wet girls in skirts, but dude, trust me. Yeah, that's how it feels. And, like, the 5th game is so on its shit about making wet clothes. Like, they clearly put some focus on there to make clothes properly transparent in water, because the whole game is based around a theme of water. And they decided, yeah, let's get sexy at the potential cost of missing our narrative point. It's still really good, though. No, Halloween is in your hearts. Every time a little kid cries in fear, that's Halloween. Every time something repulsive ends up in a mailbox, that is Halloween. As long as you carry the spirit of destruction and vandalism in your hearts, every day is Halloween. Bet somebody gets it. Thinking of other possible Spook Month games for the future, looking through my wish list, and man. Ooh. Ib could be a fun one. Do I? Okay, I know a couple of games actually fit that name. Oh, time for a Silent Hill outfit. Shaboop. You know what? We're actually doing fine. We don't need the scares. This is just a beef jerky room. We don't need that. It's the beef jerky room because the only thing in there apart from handgun bullets is beef jerky. Not even monsters. Please be dead. You too. Jeef Berkey. That's really good. Thinking about Jeef. Denim cow. Okay, I have actually kind of gotten myself really turned around. Having a lot of fun with it. But I kind of lost the plot of this playthrough. Which is fine. But yeah, like, Spook Month is, like, genuinely a huge treat for me. And I'm like, genuinely kind of amazed that it's worked out. I don't really want to be a primarily horror-based streamer. But I'm not going to pretend like it hasn't introduced some of the most interesting conversations. Sometimes you just want to snack between infinite bullet sprays from your machine gun, right? It's so fun. Okay, this is still not the right room. I don't know why I went back. Okay, let me take a breather. Think about where I'm at. We've been through this long hallway after normally doing the detergent stuff. Let's see. I know I'm going back in here, but that is a door. I got myself confused for no good reason. Alright. Kill, 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 die, die. Love to do a murder. You're dead. Then we're going through this door. And now we're actually like on track. It took me a second, but we're fine now. Let's see. I think not here, but no. Where are the doors? Where are the doors? No matter where you go, there you are. Sometimes it necessitates John Carpenter doing a soundtrack, and that's the greatest gift of all. Absolutely. Now, where the hell am I? Locked. 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 Bastards. So it's clearly been a hot minute. I have forgotten how this place is laid out. It's really unfortunate because I don't want to deal with that. How about you? Are you openable? Nope. Okay. God, it... Alright, let's go back to where we were. We're going to see what the hell we were doing. Killed quite a bit. Oh, and there's another door over here that we haven't actually been into. So let's, turn over here. Alright, that's where the vice is. Okay. So it's in the door before the one that we're supposed to go to in order to get back to where we were. So we do this. Take a little look around. Right. That door isn't openable. Gosh. I got rusty real quick. I think I just got a little disappointed that we weren't able to get the ending we were after. And so now I'm paying for my sins. Okay, so I think we need to go all the way over here. Into this door right here. Go through this place. Get back out into the main area. Because it's going to lead us to the upstairs stairwell. Miss that door and hit that door. Wonder how many old malls just open up during spooky season just to be weird Silent Hill haunted house malls. Hopefully all of them. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I love the idea of a haunted mall. Just as, like, an exploratory place. A liminal space, if you will. What's that? I know people have talked about this, and I always forget the name because it's such a weird name. But those really weird, like, art house shopping malls that, like, are more like giant puzzle rooms and, like, exploratory art than actual malls. In fact, like, even the products there are all fake. Something with wolf in the title. And even then, I might be mistaken. But I would love that in a horror space where you're not actually dealing with people, you're just dealing with a creepy space. Because I love haunted houses, But the thing that always gets me, Meow Wolf, thank you. Hi, Lark. Meow Wolf is, I think, a great template because, like, how often do you hear about people that you meet in there? You don't. It's just other people. One of the locations is Omega Mart, which is supermarket themed. Yeah, and I want a horror place like that, which would be pretty hard because Meow Wolf is like a year-round thing. It's not seasonal. It's just like an art installation, so to speak. Which is cool. Don't get me wrong. But I want a year-round haunted house that is designed to be labyrinthine, that you can actually get lost in it. I think that would be cool. And I think we deserve that. Okay, so I got turned around on that. Let's see how quickly we can do this part, which the last time we did it in the underpass, we actually got through pretty smoothly. Then we're going to go through the turnstile. Let's see, I think right around here is the map. And once we have that, we can head straight ahead from the turnstiles into the next location, which I believe is a stairwell? Yes. Then we're going to take our left, and we're going to head down this open door, which is platform number 1. And this is going to lead us to the Nutcracker, and some enemies which deserve to be put down. While I'm doing this, anybody playing anything new? I've been playing God of War Ragnarok, and I'm a fan of the 2018 release. I think a large amount of what makes that game work for me is the acting. I think it's just some great character work. Christopher Judge's Kratos is phenomenal. The mocap work for that game is phenomenal. And Ragnarok is just kind of doing more of that, with some of the most interesting interpretations of Norse gods that I've seen in a long time. I'm very happy with it. I'm only about an hour in, just kind of doing that opening, and gosh, I don't even usually go for like AAA stuff, but this one is really good. And I say this as somebody who's like, you know, I keep buying these AAA games. I keep buying the big stuff. I bought Marvel's Avengers. Not a very good game. Fun story. Actually, one of the better video game Marvel stories up to that point. But just kind of a real hit game experience, you know? Let's see. But this one, it's like, wow, actually all the stuff that makes it AAA kind of matters. A lot of when I talk about like AAA stuff, the problem that tends to happen with AAA, and like this is a great time to talk about it because we're playing Silent Hill, a game that is very anti-AAA. Not on purpose. Konami just doesn't want to pay money. Let's see. I need to pass platform 4 and go to platform 3. Oh, hell yes. Dr. Langeskov, The Tiger and the Terribly Cursed Emerald. Is that the full title? That game is great. If y'all haven't played it, I think it's fairly cheap. It's a lot of fun. And it is kind of a masterclass in interactive fiction in the same way that Stanley Parable, which was made by some of the same people, like, continues to be. Oh, good. I'm glad I got it right the first try. It's so good. Still remember that quote to the effect of, we can make something popular or we can make it good. Yeah, that was exactly the approach with Silent Hill 1. They knew they couldn't make something that was going to have a huge budget. And they knew that, like, making something with mass appeal, when they were basically given the right to fail because Konami didn't believe in them in the first place, they were just given a project to be like, we need something for Western audiences. They were like, okay, we don't have the means to do it, so I guess we're just gonna do it anyway. And so they made the decision, just like, make something that they felt would work. Something that would be art as opposed to a product. Yeah, Dr. Langeskov is like a masterclass in video game comedy. You should also play the Beginner's Guide, which is, again, made by some of the same people, and is... I can't say anything about it without giving away what makes it special, but it is for people who enjoy game design. Especially indie game design. Especially if you enjoy, or at least are very fascinated by, the way we discuss game designers. Yeah, I love Beginner's Guide. It is a game I will never stream because it's free and you should just go play it. I think it's free. Like, that, and I mean, Dr. Langeskov is a really interesting one to stream because, like, it's just pure comedy. It is as much of a follow-up to the Stanley Parable as the Stanley Parable Deluxe is to the Stanley Parable. It's some of the same ideas presented very differently, and you get to just have a lot of fun with it. Play with game devs who want to sit silently and grit your teeth as a form of bonding. Right? Oh my god. Again, I can't say anything about the Beginner's Guide without giving away what makes it so unique. But oh my god, you should play the Beginner's Guide. And I would strongly actually recommend playing it all the way through in a single sitting. I don't usually recommend that, but the Beginner's Guide and Dr. Langeskov both can be beaten in a very short amount of time, just like Stanley Parable, and are absolutely worth your time. Free demo, €11 for full Stanley, 21 for Ultra Deluxe Stanley. Get rid of these guys, get out of the cursed hallway. Right, and now we have the unfortunate part of figuring out where the hell we go. There we go. God, now I'm just thinking about the Beginner's Guide. It's really good. Problem is, it's really good. But then again, a lot of the games that are about game development are weirdly fantastic. There aren't a lot of games that delve into game design on a serious level, even if they're comedy games. Like, there are not a lot of those kinds of games that are bad, because most of the time they are so earnest about the struggle of making a good game that they wind up winning people over. It's amazing. Stanley Parable is a yin-yang symbol, but for pretentiousness and eagerness. Yeah. It knows it has the capacity to be utterly up its own ass. And it even lets itself enjoy that. But especially with the deluxe version, it knows so well how to create an experience that feels like it understands the spirit of being a creator over somebody making a product. And it does so in a fantastic way. Like, it's exceptionally well written. Like, we can talk about jokes all we want, but Stanley Parable is just fucking good. I love those games. I love them so much. Like, that's my Deus Ex. Like, if you mention Deus Ex, somebody will be installing it. If you mention Fallout New Vegas, someone will install it. If you mention Stanley Parable or Beginner's Guide or Dr. Langeskov, I will probably be installing all three, regardless of whether the others were mentioned at all. Because I have brain problems. And also, I really freaking love those games. If you mention FNV, someone will be tranced. Fallout New Vegas, 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 Fallout New Vegas. Hey, have you heard? Fallout New Vegas. Is there anyone here who hasn't been tranced a little? Or at least have questioned their gender? If not, Fallout New Vegas. Dust is howling. Hi, Dusty. Did one of my Fallout New Vegas' trans, Dusty? I hope so. I hope you have a trans cat. I hope you have 2 trans cats. It's just what happens when you don't wield your power responsibly. Or you do wield it responsibly and nobody agrees that it's responsible, but you do it anyway. I don't care for the Fallout games, but thankfully I've already questioned my gender and continue to do so fairly regularly. That's a good thing. I am still kind of in the discourse mode for gender. And unfortunately, I always like to talk about it. And that's a problem. Because again, I have brain problems. Good ones, but brain problems nonetheless. Okay, I get it. There we go. I want to turn around. I want to get down the stairs. Gender? I hardly know her. See, you get it. Gender is simply someone who gens. Doctors recommend at least 5 to 6 gendings a day. A gender a day keeps the testosterone away? I'm trying to like spin this into some content and I am failing miserably. But also, it's just dumb enough that I think it works. I mean, this right here is a gender. Magical girl with the submachine gun. Any enemies? No? Nobody wants to die? That's fine. If for whatever reason you ever want to talk about something else, I have a pine cone given to me by a crow. You have a crow friend. Just like this chat, you have a crow friend. I usually transgen towards the Northeast Tumblr post is on my mind 24/7. God. I love it. Okay. We're heading back out. Can we create infinite energy through the power of gender? I don't see why not. The straights keep enforcing gender so hard that it's a generative force in and of itself. They keep sacrificing their own on top of that. So like, fuck it. Gend. When in doubt, gend. also dogs, but... Okay, I don't think there's anything here of value. Nope, we're just gonna go right on through. Fuck it, we gent. I know you typed tend, and I understood that you said gen, but we have chicken tendies. And I just got really excited. Thanks, autocorrect, for ruining my perfect joke that everyone was going to laugh at. Hey, I caught it. I made sure that it would be heard the way it was intended. Because you deserve to make that joke. We gent. We work hard, we gent hard. Gen Z. Is that anything? No? Okay. You're a good friend and ally. You'd be an ally if you were the trans? I think so. I think you made up for the autocorrect whiff with that one. Up the stairs. Oh, I got a lot of pictures of cats just now. After checking my Discord. So thank you, Lindsay. Transformers, Gen Duration 1. You know, I gotta wonder, Transformers, Bionicle, like, these are some very trans-associated contents. And I get it. I really do. But also, wow. I had a funny convo with a cis guy friend of mine who has been pretty well developed. Who has a pretty well developed understanding of gender discourse. And he was like, okay, I don't like biological essentialism and gender performativity. And gender performativity is pretty rad, but legit. Testosterone can make you want to do 6 stunts for no reason. So we concluded that the only real men are the jackass guys. I would actually agree with that. Okay, so we're going to head straight up to floor 5. Okay, I'm going to test something real quick. I'm going to unequip my weapon. And see if we can get the thing. Nope, we don't have the thing yet. It might not happen at all during the playthrough. We might have to beat the game. Ugh. 5 playthroughs. I really like this game, so I'm doing it. But 5 playthroughs. Okay, so gonna drop this down. Steve-O the Ubermensch. Especially since the Jackass guys have openly admitted to their homoeroticism on all fronts. Yeah, like most of them are like kind of fine. Like a couple of them have their issues. I hear Bam Margera like went through some tough times. He has some issues he's working through, slowly but surely. But everyone else is surprisingly well adjusted considering. Even Steve-O, who I have watched spray lemon juice in his eyes as recently as this year, is still surprisingly there, you know? They don't have to be. They could be the biggest jerks in the world. But they seem to be actually alright, and that's weird to me. You know what I mean? I never know how to deal with that. Like, it's such a fascinating thing. Alright, so we don't We usually have the map around this point, and we don't right now. I'm gonna see if we can manage it. Because I could really use a map right now. No, we don't need to go in here. This isn't necessary. I just remember this one interview with Johnny Knoxville, where the interviewer was all, did you know people ship you and stuff? Did you know people look at what you do and are talking about how gay it could be? And Johnny went, okay, how did nobody pick this up until now? We were in the 90s practically sitting on dicks. Yeah. They wanted people to do that. They wanted people to, like, be that nasty with them. Okay, what floor are we on? We are on level 3. Let's see. I usually don't wind up this out of sorts. I think this is the office. Nope. But this is where we can get normally a couple of extra kills. That's great. Just some fat guy zombies being ballerinas. There we are. This is the room I needed. Queerbaiting, yes, but also they wanted to openly challenge the homophobia of the 90s and thought it was hilarious that nobody noticed by virtue of them doing dumb shit and just assuming it was all het all the time. Yeah, people just kind of went like, oh yeah, this is just what boys do when they're alone, which is true, but the fact that they were just very openly just kind of like challenging that shit. Even if it went the wrong way, I'm just kind of like, you know what? They were so unbearably comfortable with themselves and each other. Sometimes what boys do when they're alone together is gay. It's true. Okay, now that we have the map, we can kind of function. What's better than this? Guys being dudes. Okay, so we need to get to the KMN Auto Parts, which is, I think, on the 5th floor. Yes. Guys sitting on dudes. Dudes being gay. Homosexual activity. Love it. Does a man in that video know what he has done for culture? I hope so. Because it's too revolutionary to ignore, you know? At the same time, I don't want him to know, because what if... No, I do want him to know, because if he is the kind of guy who would take umbrage with that, then yeah, fuck him. But what if he's like, wow, I'm an influencer? We'd be like, yeah, man, you sure are. You influence people to get real gay, and I respect that. Let's see. Right. Now we have, let's see. It's 5th floor. We never go to the 6th floor, even though it has places that are labeled, which is really interesting. Have the rope and we have the jack, so we need to go down to the 2nd floor. He'd immediately try to trademark it. That's capitalism, isn't it? That's just capitalism, baby. Speaking of capitalism, I watched that new H Bomber Guy video. And I did not know what I was in for. I did not know it would go down that hole. If you haven't watched it, it's about the oof sound from Roblox. At least 30 minutes of it anyway. And then it becomes something else. And it's one of the most fascinating bits of... I guess I could say investigative journalism. Because it presents everything in such an easily grokkable way that nevertheless kind of just infuriates you. Just makes you uncomfortable, and it's so good. I know it's like a weird thing to say about that, but it's true. It's very good. And I kind of just want to watch it again. Just throw it on in the background and let it play. Because, holy cow. If you don't know, it kind of goes to Tommy Tallarico. And if you don't know who Tommy Tallarico is, you probably didn't watch G4 growing up. But he's a composer, and like a good composer.
It's being invaded by...
But a composer who has a history. Has a very strange history that is like hard to parse, hard to really... Yeah, like if you don't know who he is, you're in for a ride. And like... It's just... I knew from a meme I saw that the video involved anger at Tommy Tallarico, but I was so pleasantly surprised at how far it went. Yeah, and like I give a lot of credit to Stealing Valor. That's how I referred to it. It's like I can't explain the depths without ruining that video, and it's worth playing and finding out for yourself. But the long story short is, he kind of finds out who made that sound, because that story in and of itself is interesting. And then it just kind of goes deeper, and it goes into this like very like deep dive that also I don't know, I can't say anything more. Go watch the video. It's worth it. I know it's 2 hours. But it's a video essay. We all do that. We all watch video essays that last way too long. It's fine. Alright. So I believe we have to take the elevator. We need to get down to the 1st floor. I also have another video that I need to watch from Folding Ideas of like, it's rude to be bad at World of Warcraft or something. And I love Folding Ideas. It's a great channel. Tomorrow's Sunday, you can spend a few hours. I am interested in that being similar to the Defunct Lands Disney Channel theme episode. Yeah. Because it's like the same kind of... It's the same kind of stuff. Like, and the fact that they landed like within 2 days of each other or something is kind of amazing, because they are both apparently like these deep dives. I honestly just love that we just wound up there. And I would also say, some of these videos are a really good argument for communism and socialism. At the very least, they are a really good argument for overthrowing capitalism, which... You know, it's good. It's good. I like it. I know that soapboxing is like looked down on, but fuck it. It's about crediting creators, but also artistic legacy and the works we wind up being known for. Yeah, they're like, you are touching on something that the Oof video also touches on in probably a pretty different way. And I love that. Okay, then we get the matchbook over here. We have the pork liver, we have the oxidol, and we have... Now... Oh, there it is. The matchbook. From what I've heard, yes. Likely a different way than the Oof video. Still worth it, but very different. Okay. So, we are now near the gallery. Here's our Session 9 reference coming up. Then let's see. We gotta go into the gallery, we gotta combine all these things, and burn the painting. And we gotta kill, 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 kill. I'm so glad I stated that this was going to take multiple playthroughs, because hoo boy. This is like the first Silent Hill where they kind of keyed everything in a certain way, in an interesting way, where you can't get every single ending in the same number of playthroughs. It's just not necessarily feasible. Unless you know exactly what you're doing and you're able to wring out a lot of value. Ooh, Puppet History just did a video on Bessie Coleman, the U.S.'s first black female pilot, and it's BS that she went unacknowledged for so long. Yeah, so I don't know anything about that specifically, but I do know that, like, there are more than enough stories about things like that, especially in the military, where we just kind of gloss over things. And some people just don't get their due. I think in the H Bomber Guy video, there is this like really great segment that talks about the 5 or so female composers at Capcom who worked on damn near every Capcom game, like in the late 80s and early 90s, and like were a revolutionary group that nevertheless did not get credit for their work very often because of the way that kind of content gets shared. Like, publishers at the time would refuse to let people be credited because they were trying to avoid people getting poached and moving on to, like, another company. And it ended up hurting them in the long run because they can't really just point to something they did and say, oh yeah, I'm in the credits. It's like, no, your nickname is in the credits. Maybe an image if you're lucky. Okay, I think we have to go down to 1F, and we're going to go into the west corridor with the life insurance key. And we're about to come up on the point in which the game would normally end if we satisfy the conditions for the third ending. Not a joke, by the way. In order to get the third ending, we have to get a specific weapon that is only available after killing 333 enemies. Okay, y'all, y'all need to chill. There you go. Bye. Then we read this. I believe we read the other part of the fairy tale. Do we incentivize our talent to stay through better treatment and positive working environments? Nah, let's just remove their ability to make a portfolio. Yeah, and that. There are a lot of ways in which video game developers and publishers specifically try to remove credits from people because of a lot of complicated and unfortunate reasons that are never any good. They're never good. They're never good reasons. But like some people when you can't prove that you worked on something, you can't put it on your resume. If you can't put it on your resume, you're stuck where you are. You can't use the work you've done to actually be able to move on to another studio. So even though it was done to prevent poaching, it was also something that prevented people from expanding their career. And like it was a dirty practice for a long time and continued all the way up to the PlayStation era easily. And that's not including the way that like various companies have omitted credits for people who worked as contract workers or who were fired during development, or any some such nonsense where like we create excuses for why we don't have to let somebody put the work they did on their resume. And there are actually some other points I could make on here that are better described through that H-Bomber Guy video. So go watch it. It's good. And it satisfies a lot of things I would love to talk about. Fucking Molgoths. Okay, I don't think I've saved once in this playthrough. Which is kind of fascinating. Alright, so we're about to hit Silent Hill and Brookhaven Hospital, and I don't think we can get through the rest of this game in time. But we are close enough to the end that if we hit the actual enemy count that we're looking for, then we can end on Monday, which is pretty good. Like, if I can get up past the, if I can get past the amusement park, we can end on Monday. Oh no. Just had a weird crash, so I don't know if it's just that, but the stream froze on me for a sec, and I want to make sure it's not global. Ah. I mean, it could also be Twitch, is the thing. It seems fine now. In which case, where was I before it crashed? I mean, I could always just move on to another topic, because I'm good for just talking out my ass. There we go. Yeah, it's either an us problem or it's a Twitch problem, which both happen. Oh, you're getting a graphics driver crash. Ooh, we gotta get you a new computer. She's been running with the same unit for a while now, almost a decade. And we've done some upgrades, but I think it might be time. Get you something good. Something with an RTX card. And all the teraflops. Or we'll just get you a computer that does everything you want it to do and nothing else. That's also good. Alright, we're diving into here. Time to see if you lost your Valheim save. Oh no. Well, okay. The Valheim is pretty good about that sort of stuff. Hello. And we're going to go up to the second floor. And we're going into the women's locker room. We're going to get the nail polish remover and the perfume, which we are going to once again apply. That'll draw enemies to us and allegedly spawn more enemies in some places than there normally are. I don't think it's ever been outright confirmed that it does that because the game does occasionally throw a few curveballs in that regard. Let's see. Where's perfume? There we go. We've got the nail polish remover, then we're going to go over here, and we're going to hit the keypad directly. We're not going to worry about anything. We already know the code. It's 4639. Where you do go 2 right, 1 up, 2 down, and you're good. Then we go to M4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The time is going to be written on the clock. 0957. There we go. Instant camera. We're going to head out, and we're going to go back to the first floor via the same elevator. So we go to the 4th room on the first floor in the patient wing, use the nail polish remover, and get the key to the stairwell, which will allow us to go to the basement. The fact that I have this in my brain is weird. I don't know why I have this information, but I'm going to retain it for an absurdly long time. And it's not going to be a choice. It's just going to happen, and I just have to deal with it. There you are. Go back to hell where you came from. Thank you. Okay, so we're once again going to go to the 4th room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Haul ass to the end of the room. Say, where's the nail polish remover? There it is. Haul ass again. Take the right. We're going to head straight across from here so that we can hit the basement. Hell yes. If I can just figure out a couple of my problem areas in this game, I think I could actually do a decent job of getting a really good runtime. I think I could pull it off, but it would be difficult. Sometimes I'm tempted to watch the Silent Hill movie that is based on, from what I hear, SH3, but I'm certain it'll be not good. Silent Hill Revelations. It was one of those movies that was back at the heyday of modern 3D movies. 3175. And from what I can tell, it's an amusement park ride of a movie. Alright, we're going to run up the steps. So I would probably say, like, if you know that you're in for an amusement park ride as opposed to a genuine, like, decent movie, it might be fun, actually. 3175. Ooh, thank you. Because I did actually kind of space on that for just a second. Okay, so now we're going to go all the way to the end to room S12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. 12. Like, I myself enjoy an amusement park ride movie. Like, I enjoy some MCU movies, and I think there are some really good ones. But I have to know that that's what I'm getting. And it makes it a lot harder when it's like an established franchise I have a lot of respect for that's being adapted, and then gets turned into an amusement park ride that just feels weird. There aren't a lot of times where that works out really well. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, I felt like most video game adaptations were kind of amusement park ride-ish. Especially the ones that tried to take things a little bit more visually literally. The Dark Pictures anthology developers, Supergiant... Supergiant or Supermassive? One of the two. They made a game for VR called Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which was, in essence, a very deliberate amusement park ride version of some of the events in Until Dawn. And it's pretty good, and they're about to do the same thing again with the Dark Pictures games with the PSVR 2. Supergiant is Bastion Hades, thank you. I knew I was confusing the two, and I've been confusing the two for a long time. But Supermassive is really good at knowing that, like, they are kind of an amusement park ride developer. That's not an insult. They make great games. At least I think so. And they also make schlock, which is not a bad thing. That's not an insult. Like, they make some of the best schlock out there. They make characters that are really weirdly fun, considering that the writing is often very hokey and silly. They're very good at B-movie quality performances with a AAA budget. And so when they make an amusement park ride version of their own product, I'm kind of down for it, you know? But I think there is a certain cheek to that allows for that a lot of video game adaptations don't accomplish. Just straight up, do not manage. And so once again, like when you... Don't you just love when you get a text message giving you a security code for your PayPal? Because then you just know somebody's trying to get in there. Ugh, means I have to change my password. Ugh. Got a couple of those every so often. And it's fine, but it's just annoying as hell. You know what I mean? Two-factor authentication, folks. Use it. It's really good. If you can. There are issues with that sometimes, but oh well. Okay, so we're done with that. We're going to head all the way over. Oh, gotta go through the day room. Oh yeah. Don't do it on Twitter. Twitter, you will get locked out of your account forever. It's no good. Okay, so how do I need to get around? I need to go to... second floor. We need to descend to this... We need to get to the women's locker room again. where we get a plastic bag. There we go. Get out. Leave. Whoa, hey, buddy. Okay, you're dead. Okay, we're gonna head back to the 3rd floor. I want to see how far we can get in this short amount of time, because we got the amusement park next, and I'm pretty sure I can get through it by only going over by about 10-15 minutes, so I'm going to go for that. Just so we can park ourselves at a point where we can maybe, just maybe, get everything done in one playthrough, and have next time be the finale, which is still within the... within my original estimate. I was hoping we could do it today, but it was going to be dependent on whether or not this worked out. Whether or not the heather beam worked out. Let's see. Go through here. Grab some blood. Oh yeah, I finally... So, they delayed my copy, but I have The Devil in Me, the last Dark Pictures Anthology game in the current season. And, I don't think I've been more excited for one of their games in a long time. I still haven't even played The Quarry, which I'm also excited by. But The Devil in Me is about a murder house. And it's just like one big torture building, and there's something about that that's really cool to me. I'm excited. It looks nasty. And I think they brought back some actors from like the early episodes, including the woman who played Fliss in Man of Medan. She's so cute. I know that there's probably more I should care about, but she's really cute and a pretty good actress, so I don't care about anything else. I want to see her. Okay, back up to the 1st floor. We're about to fight Leonard. Don't see any other enemies. We're just gonna haul ass. There's one. Yes, kill more. Murder everything now. Love it. Okay, and then we need to get all the way to the end, I believe. No, that's not the way this goes. We gotta go through the 4th door, which, right here. We head straight forward. We drop this blood on a table, which will summon a ladder and a hole. Love to summon hole. When in doubt, summon hole. Gotta wait for this to go down. There we go. And then we shoot. Oh, he got underwater before we could actually do anything with him. Come on, my dude. Ooh, you are not cooperating today. Usually I can stun you pretty well, but today, not so much. One day I will have enough minds on my masterpiece. Magical girl with a shotgun, so as to be similar to, but legally distinct from, Princess Heart, Akira Yamaoka's OC Do Not Steal. Uh, there are so many comics I would love to make. Get me somebody who can do backgrounds and somebody who can do color, and I'll draw that comic. Then again, these days, that's kind of my general vibe. Get me somebody who can do backgrounds and somebody who can do color, and I'll make a comic for you. I should not say that out loud, because then people might take me seriously. Which they should, but also don't.
Why did you send her to my father?
Then again, there are a lot of projects I really want to do, and I've been kind of thinking about, like, the kinds of things I would love to do. I've been sitting on a few projects that I have. I think I've even made pitch documents for some of them. That I haven't submitted anywhere. I've just been kind of like, oh, this would be a cool idea one day. I'm not really in a place where I can, like, sit down and make it. Then again, I've long maintained that your black and white inks are strong as fuck. I appreciate the color in your work, but it has never needed it. Thank you. I have very rarely been given an opportunity to just do black and white. Some of the job offers I've had in the past that, like, got canceled out for reasons that I'm not really going to discuss were projects where they were like, we don't want you doing color, or we don't want you doing just black and white. We need you to do color. It'll get more people to look at it. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, I'm not going to say I'm terrible at color, but I'm not the person you go to when you want good coloring. And I don't think it's an insult to me to be able to say that, because I feel like I have a good grasp of where I am when it comes to a lot of my skills. I can draw pretty well. I can ink pretty well. I can compose a page pretty well. I can't color very well. I'm still learning a lot about that, and I'm still sometimes in a very elementary phase. Well, maybe not elementary. I'm better than that, but punk zine style coloring. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did that for Melee City Throwdown back when I got that one going. And that one was a lot of fun because I was able to kind of like play around with something that let me enjoy color without having to color a work. I could get nasty, I could get weird. I just had to pick a couple of really good colors and run with that. And it was really fun. For 200k a page, I will be your colorist. It is what you deserve. It is not the industry rate. Oh, 200k a page. Ooh, wow. I mean, I've seen your work. It's worth it. For 200k a page, I will learn to color. Alright, so we're going to run all the way down until the scene transitions. We have not run into a lot of enemies. Yeah, it's kind of funny. There are some things I want to do. Like, I am... Like, even though I don't think I'm putting myself down when I talk about things that I feel are a weakness of mine. Because, like, I'm not sitting here going like, oh yeah, anytime I've colored it looks like dog shit. No, that's not true at all. I have definitely colored pages pretty well. I've definitely colored pieces pretty well. I can even point to some stuff I've done recently that I'm genuinely proud of. But there are times where I know that I'm just not where I want to be. I think it's good to assess that about yourself. Every once in a while. Not be too hard. Okay, so I think we'll actually get through the amusement park in a reasonable amount of time, because it's surprisingly easy to sift through. Alright, you're dead. Then we go through this door. Okay, Buffy. It's like there thinking about like, okay, I've got a horror comic I've been wanting to do for years called Bone Queens. I have 2 adult-oriented series that I would love to get started on. I have one that I want to continue. I have 2 regular webcomic ideas I want to do. And then we get into like, oh, and I also have some game design docs that I made a while back that I would love to brush up on. Come on, do it. I've just been sitting on these projects that I know I don't have time for and I don't have the skill for yet. And when you don't have the time or the skill, it creates a problem. Because like, if you don't have the time for something, but you have the skill, you can still like squeeze out a bare bones version of it just to get the idea down. And if you have the time but not the skill, you can develop that skill. You can take the time to like figure it out, work on it, learn as you go. A lack of time and a lack of skill, that gets to be a lot tougher. You got to squeeze in learning where you can, or mash it together as best you can and hope for the best. All valuable things, mind you. But it can be a little tough, especially if you're somebody who, like me, occasionally has a lack of confidence when it comes to stuff like that.
Welcome to the Borley Haunted
Yeah.
Mansion.
Haunted Mansion, really cool,
Help!
great segment.
Help!
Nope, not helping. Just moving on without you. Buddy!
That's Danny.
Hi, Danny.
This mansion is quite old, so please,
And the ceiling
I'm
falls.
so sorry. This place is just falling apart. The mechanism is broken, you see. It wasn't supposed to stop there, I assure you. There's the exit.
I love the delivery of that line.
That was supposed
It's
to be
so
the exit.
perfectly
But it seems that no
hammy.
one wants you to leave.
Like, this game doesn't have great voice acting, none of them do.
They want you to stay with
But,
them
my
forever.
god, this guy just really
I have to agree
knows
with
how
you.
to make it sound like he is paying his dues. A dude who sounds like, when he normally talks, he probably comes off as bored all the time. And I'm into that. That's great. Okay, so we got more enemies to kill. Give me another. Thank you. And we're gonna go through this little narrow hallway. Nope, not getting out of this chair. Yeah, that guy just kind of sits there, and if you keep walking, he just... It's all a misdirect. Also, you can say hi to Danny. Okay, we are at the top of the hour. And we are, fortunately, very close to where I want to stop for the night. For 200k per page, I will outsource being your colorist for 100k per page. See, now you're thinking like a true capitalist. I've always had like the dream of getting a team together and we all pitch in with our strengths to make a whole bunch of weird stuff together. Because like, I can't do 5 fully penciled, fully inked, fully colored, fully written pages. But I can do 5 pages of pencils. You know what I mean? Love to making it happen. Screams have started. Time for work. Have a good one, all. Have a good one, Neckerbob. Thank you for coming along. We are literally right where we want to be. All we have to do is take care of this, do a little bit more traveling, fight ourselves, and then we'll be at the church, which is where we want to be. Door gets broken open, and we get to leave. We have...
Douglas.
Okay, there's Douglas. I'm gonna keep moving. We have the red shoe. We need the doll head, which I believe is going to be on our right. Yes! Not far now. Oh wait, we just need to go straight. And then we go over here. And I think as we get closer, I'll need to start doing my house cleaning, so to speak. Dang it. There we go. And now you have a shoe. And then we go through this door, and then I think we go through a blue door on our left. It doesn't look blue until you shine a light on it. It looks red. Then we just need to follow the path up until it is time to hop on the carousel. Oh hey! More enemies! Love it! Okay, you're dead. That's great. I love that. That's not it. Here we go. We're almost there. We're almost at a stopping point for the evening. We hop onto here. We kill 12 horses, but they're not actual horses. They're just big plastic things made of meat for some reason. Don't ask questions. It's just the way it is. Alright, that's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10, 11. They're all going to restart here in a second. I'm going to double check to make sure I got them all. Okay, we did it right. And then the fight begins. We fight ourselves. She goes away. Okay, that's another one down. And we're using R2 to kind of guess. Ooh. We're using the auto-targeting that R2 brings. Whenever we ready our weapon, we'll automatically face an enemy if it's like kind of in our path. There we go. Come on. That one's down. Okay, we only had to kill 3 or 4. I don't think we need to read this, but we did it anyway. And now we're almost done with today's play session. And it means that we will have the church to do. We can blast through it. And then, if we're lucky and we've killed enough, and I feel like we have, we should be able to get started with our final playthrough, which, again, is going to be a much shorter playthrough. We don't ever go to Silent Hill on the last ending, which is really kind of funny. The one playthrough that will send us to the end of this series won't even take us to Silent Hill. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab this tarot card just to make sure it's gone, and we'll save. So, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I was really hoping we could get through everything, but we're making fantastic time, which is great. VODs are available for 60 days after initial airing, completely free. There are subscriber and follower exclusive emotes. If you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, which means you have a free sub to gift every month. They do not stack, so make sure you use them. It's real money that goes to the streamer. It goes to, like, the streamers get the profit from it. It's great. The Silent Hill was inside you all along. I know. I have anxiety and OCD. Anyway, so thank you all for coming. I've been Robin, an Interjack without a C, and will continue to be so for the foreseeable future. We'll be back on Monday, hopefully for the finale. And after that, we are either playing Adios or the 2 milk games I mentioned earlier. Some of y'all are probably listening to this, like, catching it late. It's like, what? Milk? What the fuck are you talking about? They're interesting. I swear. They're really cool. Anyway, I think that'll do it for us today. So thank you all for coming. Get hydrated, get vaccinated, get masked up, be good, be safe, be awesome, and be gone. Bye.